There you are.
Hey, we got it.
Hey, all
Awesome.
right. All right, we'll talk for 10 minutes and then
Hi.
Sally has a 2 o'clock appointment, so we'll talk for 10 minutes and then if someone else wants to jump on for the second 10 minutes, we can do that. So Sally, turn your camera. Are you on your computer or your phone?
My phone.
So turn your phone the other way if you can.
How's
Turn,
that?
turn it landscape. Well, now you're upside down, at least on my, uh, let's see.
Better?
Yeah, now mine is messed up. Let me turn mine. All right, this should be good. So I think we are both in portrait mode or landscape mode right now. So, um,
Okay.
all right, so let's do a quick little strategy here. I know you don't have much time, but what are you doing right now in your practice to market and what's working, what's not working? What are you confused about?
What I'm confused about is just making sure I'm getting in front of the right people, the people that I want to be getting in front of.
Okay.
What I'm doing now, I'm all over the place online. I have a blog that I do weekly. I also write for Good Therapy Monthly. I have a podcast that I do weekly when technology is not failing me.
Okay.
Um, I also write for two local magazines that are in print and online as well. What else do I do? I have a newsletter list, and I was reached, I don't know, somebody reached out to me recently to see if I wanted to be in a golf book.
Okay.
So,
Interesting. A golf book?
yeah, you're upside down for a
Yeah,
moment.
that's
So that,
what well, someone was just saying that I think we both are. This is what happens when you try to use technology. So Kim was saying we're both sideways, which is a problem. Oh gosh. Let's
um,
see if you can turn yours one more time. If you can flip
okay,
yours. There we
how's,
go. Yeah, I think we're good now. All right,
okay.
so you're doing a lot of media stuff, but are people getting back to your website, and are they the correct kind of people, right? Do you, if you're going to be in a golf magazine, do you want to see golfers? Does that make sense for you?
That's kind of the question that I know people are responding and getting to my website and I'm getting a lot of calls. I'm just not sure it's the right kind of people. So again, like that question you're asking, like, do I want to see golfers?
Yeah. So who is the right kind of person for your practice?
This has been, I just celebrated 1 year a couple of weeks ago in private practice. And this has sort of been the question since the beginning for me. I've had a hard time figuring out my ideal client, what my niche is. And recently we made the decision that I do want to work with um, veterans, specifically like military officers.
Okay,
Um, and that was very new. So I'm still just kind of formulating that.
cool.
Um, yeah, so it's sort of like I don't know where to go
Okay,
and who to, like how to get in front of those right people.
okay. So, for any ideal client, you want to think about a few things. You want to think about, well, who are they? You want to create what's called an avatar, or really like a rough sketch of who they are, right? So, if it's a veteran, is it a man? Is it a woman? What age are they? Like down to the number? Like, is this a 27-year-old male who's just come back from Afghanistan? Where does he hang out? Where does he work? What's his college background like? What's his education, right? What part of town, excuse me, does he live in? What does he do outside of work, right? What does he do for fun? Um, so you want to start thinking about that and creating these avatars. For you, you might even think about creating ideally separate pages on your website for these different populations so
Hmm.
that when people come, they actually know and they can click on like veterans therapy, right? Or therapy for active duty military, whatever it is. So that'll convey that expertise, and you can even advertise certain pages based on who you're trying to reach at the time, at the moment, right?
I like that.
hmm So I would start there. I mean, you don't have to decide today who your niche is or who you really want to see. And in fact, I did a video earlier today about how I think for a lot of folks, you don't actually have to create a niche. You don't have to really niche down, which is goes against what a lot of practice coaches are saying right now. But I think it's more important to have a really clear message as to who you are and how you help clients. Um,
That I actually feel like I have a much greater clarity on. I
Some.
think that would be a lot more accessible for me.
Okay.
Thank you for saying that. You're right. Like no one else is saying that, so I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Because the reality is we see a little bit of everything, right? And I don't think we have to, so I don't think we have to really niche down. I can say, for example, my practice, we see a little bit of everything, and that's just kind of who we are.
Hmm.
But in our about page and our home page and everywhere on the site, you just get a sense of who we are, and so we get a lot of different calls. And then beyond that, we do have services pages for each individual kind of service we do, whether it's anxiety therapy or EMDR or whatever it is. So you can do those and organize them separately on your website. This is also fantastic for SEO as well. So if you want to start ranking up for things like veterans therapy, I know you have to go soon, veterans therapy, then you would create that service page for that. And then you would change things like the URL. So you would make the URL, veterans therapy Chicago or whatever. And then you would change the title to reflect that, Veterans Therapy Chicago. You would change the headings to reflect that, Veterans Counseling Chicago, whatever it is, and so forth. So it's kind of like creating a new website for each client. And you can direct people to those individual services pages to really capture kind of who you're searching for. So does that make sense?
Yeah, didn't even cross my mind, but it makes absolute sense.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You have a 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I hate to just run, but I appreciate there's a
No, it's
lot for
good.
me
I
to
hope
work with
I hope you
that.
got something from it. You got a lot of good stuff going. I think just kind of organizing yourself and doing some editing here and there. And remember, it's never a finished product. So just keep with the editing process and just bite off a little bit at a time.
I will. Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Good luck with your 2 o'clock.
Thanks.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of your
Cheers.
video.
So, guys, I'm going to stick on for a few more minutes. I had offered a 20-minute consult, and Sally just did about 10 minutes of consulting. So, whoever wants to join right now, let me know in the comments, and I will add you, and you will join my Facebook Live, and you'll get free consultation, free marketing strategy for about the next 10, maybe even 15 minutes. So, let me know in the comments who wants to jump on, and I will just invite you. Um, Carol, cool. All right, Carol. So I can add you. Jeremy. Oh, so Jeremy messaged earlier, so let me add Jeremy first. And Carol, if we can get to you at the end, I will, because I know Jeremy had opted in earlier. So let me invite Jeremy. And Carol, also, you can type your questions here in the bottom, and we can try to answer them as well. All right, let's see if he comes through. Jeremy, how's it going?
Hey John, how are you?
Oh, not too bad.
Good.
Yeah, what's going
Good
on
to
in your
see you.
practice, and what's working? What are you getting stuck on? What do you want to achieve?
Yeah, so just to bring you up to speed, I've had a lot of transitions in my practice lately. So we moved earlier this year to from the Pasadena area to Ventura County,
Okay.
and um, and that's been going well. But I feel like I'm still sort of settling into the Ventura area, starting to network more.
Sure.
My SEO is transitioning pretty well.
Cool.
Um, I haven't had to do a whole lot of work with that, but seriously, like my wife has entered into a full-time master's degree program, which means that I honestly don't have a lot of time to
Yeah.
market,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to think of, and I still find myself just running out of time at the end
Yeah.
of the week, just between
Okay.
childcare and because she's gone 2 or 3 days of the week.
Sure.
Um, so I'm trying to think about ways that I can minimize my time investment
Abs.
and maximize my returns. So I've been thinking about using Facebook Live a lot more,
Okay.
just because that gives me a lot more bang for my buck. Blogging takes me a lot of time. I used to
Yep.
do it a lot, and I
Okay.
would still love to find a way to reintegrate that.
Sure.
So that's
Sure.
my first big thing. My second big thing is that I recently, went through all the things I need to do to file the DBA and all that stuff, and changed my website. But I'm not like, and I love my practice name at first, but I I have mixed feelings about it now. So I was just actually reading this morning about your post about how to name a private practice,
Yeah,
um, revisiting that and wondering if I shouldn't do something that's more um,
more generic.
focused on the city, something like Ventura Relational
Yeah,
Recovery or something like
yeah.
that.
So yeah,
But you know, there's a good chance that we won't be in the area
okay.
for forever. So yeah, just
So I
some
would
thoughts
think
there for
about
you.
that, and at the end of the road, you can either sell that practice and sell the
Hmm.
assets to that practice, which is not a bad idea, and someone else could roll into that practice. Or if you hire on contractors, you could sell it to them
Okay.
and get whatever it's worth. Um, but otherwise, yeah, I would think about a generic name, especially if you have multiple
Hmm.
locations. You can even just have different services pages for each location in
Okay.
just one website. So I'd probably
Yeah.
recommend that for now.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
let's talk about your marketing for a second, because I think
Okay. Yeah.
people can relate to this. You only have so much time to commit to it, and yet you know you
Yeah.
need to do it. So what's up,
Yeah.
Connor? How's it going? Connor's
Connor.
in. Connor, are you in Pasadena? No, you're. Connor's somewhere in Southern California.
He's in Sierra Madre with me.
That's right, Sierra
Yeah.
Madre.
Connor.
He knows. Okay, you guys know each other.
Yeah.
So, Connor, we're talking about Jeremy's marketing, and I'm going to just outline some steps for you. So, Jeremy, like a lot of people, only has so much time in the week to really
Hmm.
dedicate to marketing. So, you mentioned you've been doing some networking. I'm actually going to tell you to stop networking,
Yeah.
which flies in the face of what a lot of consultants will tell you. You
Yeah,
don't seem
no,
to be
I can understand that. I'm not because it honestly, like I'm most of the insurance. Well, let me back up. Most of the providers around here get their clients through insurance panels, and I'm
yeah,
not on any insurance panels, and so um,
yeah.
there's just a very limited return on that.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that makes it different. So I
yeah,
would spend no more time networking. That's also a very time intensive thing, like having
yeah.
coffee with other therapists and stuff like
Hmm.
that, or other specialists that are like you or unlike
Hmm.
you. And they may or may not give you a single client because they might be trying to get full as well and
Right,
figure out their own
right.
marketing. So
Yeah.
I would set that aside, and that's the good news. The second news is you know you need to blog, but you don't have time. That's
Mm.
another really common thing for
Hmm.
therapists. So I would say a couple things. You mentioned Facebook Live. Rather than Facebook Live, actually, well, you could start on Facebook Live, but I would create a video blog. It's a lot
Okay.
more. It's a lot more bang for your
Mm.
buck, like you said. But for the sake of time, so you can hop on here, talk about anxiety or ADHD for 20 minutes, and you can actually now download the video from Facebook Live, upload that to
Yeah,
YouTube, and then embed that to your website. And
yeah. You and Ernesto were just talking about that this
oh, you
morning.
were there. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I would start there. If you
Hmm.
if you want to have a blog, you can hire people to write for you, and we can talk about that as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
So I have some content writers that work for Private Practice Workshop to write for my consulting clients, and they can write 1,000 word article optimized for SEO for around 30-40 bucks per article.
Oh, really?
So you can think about what
Okay.
that time is worth for you again. If
Yeah.
you don't like doing that stuff, if it doesn't give you energy, then outsource it.
Hmm.
Um, so I think
Yeah, Connor.
yeah, so video can be repurposed too into a blog with SEO terms and video
Yeah,
embedded. Yeah,
totally.
absolutely, and
A
that's
video with a few comments. Hmm.
absolutely
Yeah, yeah,
that's
it's
money in the
true.
bank for your SEO as well, because more people are
Yeah.
going to be spending more time on your actual website. So
Hmm.
I look at marketing in two different platforms in two ways. You have fast acting solutions, and then you have like kind of more of a slower build, right, or a slower acting solution.
Yeah.
Um, it sounds like you need a little bit of both, right? So you could use
Yeah.
a boost in
Hmm.
referrals right now, as well as
Sure.
building SEO over the longer term.
Hmm.
If I were you, if you want clients now, I would think about something like Google AdWords, actually.
I'm running a very small ad campaign
Okay,
that's actually brought in it's brought in a few calls and referrals, not all of which are a good fit, but it's really, really basic. I've just been toying with it.
okay,
I've
cool.
yeah, do you have thoughts about how to make that as cost effective as possible?
Absolutely. Um, so Carol's saying I'm up for this content building. Yeah, absolutely. If you guys want to look at kind of what I was talking about, you can go to privatepracticeworkshop.com/blogging to look at our blogging packages, and we can talk about that. It'll have 2 packages there. So for Google AdWords, this is the tricky part about it. There's 2 versions of it. There's AdWords Express, and then there's the full AdWords platform. You're probably using the Express version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I use the Express version for years and have put money into it and have seen some return on it, but knew that it could be better. Express is a great place to start, but AdWords Express does not have all the features that you really need to dial in a campaign. So the reason why you're getting people calling, but not necessarily the right people calling, has to do with a couple things. Number one, something called negative keywords. So these are the search words that you don't want to show up for. Like if I do ADHD testing, I don't want to be paying to show up for substance use and co-occurring disorders or whatever. Sometimes with an AdWords campaign on Express, you can have over 900 negative keywords that should not be in there. And so that's probably why you're showing up for some things that you don't want to show up for. So what I do, and again, we have people now on our marketing team that do this for therapists, where they will come in and they will create multiple ads for you and multiple ad groups for you, run them, A/B test them. So when you do an A/B test, you're just comparing one to the other. Like you might have 2 ads for depression, run them, compare them, see how they perform, and whichever one wins, you put more money into that one and you toggle the other one off. And so you kind of dial in these campaigns and you have a lot more metrics to work from when you use the full platform. The problem is, again, without being like certified in the platform, which I'm not, but our team is, it's really hard to use it effectively. So you'll put money into it and you might see some return, but it's not really going to convert in the way that it should, because it is such an amazing platform when it's really dialed in. Does that make sense?
Totally does.
Yeah.
Connor's asking really good questions here.
Yeah.
So if you're doing an AdWord campaign, what webpage do you advertise on your site?
Question. So Connor, and everyone, you want to send them not to your homepage. You actually want to send them to a particular service page. And this is, again, another reason to have services pages in the first place. So if you want to look at my site as an example, you can go to charlottecounselingandwellness.com. Don't ever make a domain as long as mine, I'll tell you that much. Learn that the hard way, but otherwise it's optimized. So if you click under services, you click on anxiety therapy. I want to actually send people to the anxiety therapy page. Same thing if you go down to LGBT counseling, right? We get a lot of hits on this page and a lot of clients calling once they come to this page. So if this is the case, I want to run an ad for LGBT clients in Charlotte, right? It's going to be optimized and targeted for this area. And then when I run the ad, the website copy is going to reflect, LGBTQ counseling in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's going to link them to this services page. When they land, they get this like double affirmation that I'm in the right place. These people are experts, right? And then they're going to click around the website, right? Or they're just going to call and make an appointment. Or call to find out more, or look at the other services that we offer. So that's how you want to run your ads right off the bat. Yeah, so Connor's saying I wouldn't want to descend into AdWords when I could spend my time elsewhere. Again, yeah, we look at things like return on investment, right? So if you spent $400 or $500 to get someone to set this up for you, and it gets you one client who pays $100 5 times, that you've gotten that return. But the reality is you're going to get way higher return on the full AdWords platform, especially when you get it dialed in. And then once we dial these in over the course of 3 months and really finely tune them, they are yours to keep. You have them for the rest of your practice or the rest of your career. And when you have slumps in your practice or you see a dip coming, all you do is toggle that the campaign back on, because it's already dialed in, it's already optimized. So you just toggle it on and off.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's I know that a lot of thoughts going through my mind, but it's like the cost can be prohibitive. It's expensive to do that, and I've not looked at your packages, but just in terms of the possible return on that. It's
Sure.
helpful to know that once you have that, then it's kind of yours and you can toggle on and toggle it
Yeah.
off. I've heard of therapists doing that with great results, so
Sure.
that's something to consider.
It's, things can really, really vary. Like I'll tell you
Hmm.
for our entry level package, it starts like the setup fee is 595.
Hmm.
So again, close to $600 for that
Yeah,
setup, and that
yeah.
gets you time to sit down with one of the AdWords certified guys to create these campaigns for you. And then
Hmm.
you decide how much you want to put into them into Google, right, and run those. So yeah, so that's AdWords again. I really believe I get about 70% of my referrals from AdWords,
Wow.
because these campaigns are really dialed in, and we're all private pay in an area where there's not as a ton of private pay people here. So
So are those clients willing? I mean, you're a generalist, right? Is what I understand from.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
are those clients willing to pay your full fee?
most of them, yeah.
Really? Wow.
So I think they some of them are sliding scale,
Okay.
but when you advertise for other things, um, or even like executive coaching, for example, or we have an
Hmm.
office in a really high-end area called Huntersville. And so when people click
Okay.
on AdWords for that location, they are fine paying a full fee, or when we say it's
Hmm.
150, they're fine paying it.
Hmm.
Um, there is some variability though, right? And that you're going to get
Sure.
some different people calling. You do want to work toward ranking high on Google, obviously, organically.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's the longer play, is that you want
Hmm.
to be doing that work to make sure you're ranking there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in going back to the
Yeah.
Facebook Live thing, it's a great it's a great platform, but my opinion right now is more that as a therapist, I think it's less important to get clients for your private practice, and I think it's more relevant for consultants and coaches and
Yeah.
practice building people because
Hmm.
um, again, if you're on Facebook, the people who are going to watch your Facebook Live are people who already know you, who are already in your networks or connected with you. So you're not really going to get clients that way. Clients don't go to Facebook to look for their next therapist. So
Hmm.
for me, Facebook in general, for anyone in private practice, is more of a longer play of, yeah, if you want to have a nice Facebook page, if you do a lot of content, a lot of publishing there, a lot of blogs or even video blogs, great. Then
Hmm.
then you can do that for the sake of brand recognition, or if you want to run ads on Facebook, you can do that. But in general, like if you just want to get more clients, Facebook is really, in my opinion, the last place you should be looking.
Hmm.
And I would answer this by just looking at the numbers, right? So if you look at the numbers for when clients call, hopefully you track how they found you, right? Or you ask them.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Or you could tell me how many have found you through Facebook.
Oh boy, none. I mean, everybody says that they found me online, and
Right.
just from looking at my analytics, I know that they've been on my website or that they've clicked through on the Google ad that I have or
Cool.
whatever. So I can figure that out, or Psychology Today or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's not too hard. Yeah.
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 So that tells you something, right? That tells you that
Yeah,
people,
absolutely.
yeah, finding you elsewhere. So I think
Mm-hmm.
doing Facebook stuff for private practitioners can be this kind of shiny object that, oh, I need to do this, I need to be on here. Again, if you're doing it just to create content and you pull the content from Facebook and put it elsewhere, like
Mm-hmm.
you do your Facebook Live, download that, import, upload it onto YouTube, and then embed that into your website, great, do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I wouldn't waste your time here.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of using Ernesto's group to get comfortable with doing videos because
Perfect. Yeah.
I'm not great at it, but uh, doing videos for my business page makes sense, and then
Yeah.
doing what you're talking about, putting
Yeah.
that content on my website. Yeah,
I think that would be a great
yeah.
strategy. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think out of
Cool.
all this stuff, I would really look at like I try to just focus on two marketing strategies at a time and do those really
Yeah.
well. So for you, if it's maybe like AdWords and video blogging, I would just focus on those two.
Hmm.
And literally I would schedule those things into your calendar, or like Wednesday mornings, I'm going to do 3 video blog posts, 3 separate ones,
Hmm.
and publish them. Like that would be fantastic just to really focus on on these things separately and do them well, rather than trying to
Hmm.
be everywhere or do all these, do these things in
Yeah,
sequences.
yeah, thank you. I mean, that's so helpful to hear that. It's just, I mean, we encounter so many shiny objects, white rabbits,
Yeah,
and it's so much of a pull to,
yeah,
um, especially, being in a new city and wanting to grow because um, I'm the only one who works in our family, and
yep,
my wife is in school, so it's like
yeah,
we got to make this go, and so yeah,
absolutely,
there's all that pressure that we feel, and um, being focused about that. I like that idea. Thanks,
absolutely.
John.
Yeah, my pleasure. My
Yeah.
pleasure. It's Kat, how's it going? I see Kat just jumped on. Um,
Hey.
so yeah, I think you're doing a lot of things. You're doing a lot right now, and I think you're on the right track with a lot of these different ideas. Doing your own
Thank you.
AdWords, doing some
Thanks.
SEO stuff,
Hmm.
doing some social media.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think it really is about figuring out what is actually working right now, what is getting clients in the door versus what is, again, this kind of longer term play of just building
Yeah.
my brand or getting
Mm.
known kind of on the internet for
Hmm.
different things.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
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 Have you registered
Great.
for your on Google My Business yet?
Yep. Did
Great.
that. Um, Boy, what else? Yeah. Google My Business.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
When you can secure some 5-star reviews for Google My Business, that's a major boost for SEO as
Hmm.
well. Google really
Oh,
likes
okay. I
that
didn't know that.
people
That's
are
interesting.
rating you. And again,
Okay.
that could just be colleagues who say, "Yeah, I know Jeremy does great work." I will tell you, make sure that they are actually in your area and not just like your college roommates. If
Okay.
people, and I learned all this by mistake, is that I had some people, or even like college, or like grad school classmates, give me 5 stars for my Charlotte practice,
Yeah.
and Google D ranked me because they saw that like
Oh,
some of my
wow.
friends are in New York or California or something. So the keyword here is local. So you really want to make sure the people that
Wow.
might give you 5 stars are local as well. And you'll start showing up more for those
Hmm.
local searches regardless of your SEO. So you'll show up in that
Okay.
that first
Okay.
kind of block that has the map and then the businesses and your phone numbers.
Sure.
Showing up there is fantastic and
Hmm.
is a great way to get recognized on the way to getting your site to rank up naturally on that first page.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool.
Is your head spinning?
Boy,
Did
thank
that,
you.
did
Oh
that
yeah,
work
always is.
for you?
It is. But you know what? In the best possible way.
Good.
It just, sometimes I think I can feel the anxiety and allow allow that anxiety or fear even to say, I'll just focus on blogging next week, or I mean, I, for the longest time, I just was having trouble creating content because I was subleasing
Yeah.
around here, so I just didn't have space to make a
Sure.
video blog or to do any
Sure.
of that, and so it was a real challenge. But now that that's opened, within the last month, I've been thinking about how to utilize that space. So I appreciate the pointers.
Yeah. Great ideas.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. Well, good. Hey, man, good
Hmm.
luck. And
Thank you.
yeah, let us know how it's going. And
Oh, will.
we'll have to check in here in a couple weeks and see how you're doing and what questions you have. But
Yeah, I love that.
you're doing a lot of great stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's
Thanks,
a
John.
long road.
Yeah, for
More
sure. For
perseverance.
sure.
Yeah, cool. All right, man. Well, cheers.
Okay. Take care.
Thanks for the other folks who stopped by. We had all sorts of fun therapy people stopping in and out, so it's been a lot of fun. Cool. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you around. If you haven't already, head over to privatepracticeworkshop.com. A lot of free stuff there. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast for a lot of marketing knowledge and tips. That's a good way to get more of this information while you're driving down the road. So, and let me know how I can help, or if you want to talk about working with our marketing team for AdWords, SEO, content creation, blogging, social media, all that good stuff. On one hand, you can do it if you want to do it, if you want to learn it, if you got the time and the energy. On the other hand, if you want to offload it and just have us do it for you, then have us do it for you. I think it's a great decision. So that's it for this time. See you next time. Cheers.